Listen, take a breath for a second. You've been carrying a lot, more than most people know. A lot of silent battles, a lot of fake smiles, a lot of nights where you looked fine on the outside, but inside, you were barely holding it together. And maybe lately you've been asking, God, what is this season even for? Why does it feel like I'm trying so hard and still not seeing the breakthrough? Why do I feel stuck, delayed, drained, and low-key lost? But let me tell you something real. Just because God is silent does not mean God is absent. Let that sink in. A lot of people think if they can't see movement, nothing is happening. If they can't feel progress, they assume they're being forgotten. But that's not how spiritual growth works. Sometimes heaven gets quiet because you're being built, not buried. Yeah, built in the dark, built in the waiting, built in the pressure, built in the moments where nobody claps for you, built in the confusion, built in the delay. See, everybody wants purpose, but almost nobody wants the process. Everybody wants the promise, but they panic in the preparation. And that's where a lot of people give up. Not because they're weak, but because they misread the season. You thought it was punishment, but it was pruning. You thought it was rejection, but it was redirection. You thought it was the end, but it was actually the stretch before the next level. Sometimes God will remove people, comfort, routines, and plans that you were depending on just to show you that your real source was never them. Read that in your spirit. Some of y'all have been leaning on people who were never assigned to carry your future. You've been chasing doors God purposely closed. You've been crying over chapters heaven already moved on from. And I get it. It hurts when life doesn't go the way you planned. It hurts when the job falls through, when the relationship breaks, when the money gets tight, when the opportunity disappears, when your prayers feel unanswered. That kind of pain hits different. But sometimes what breaks your heart is actually what saves your calling. Sometimes losing what you wanted is the only way to become who you're meant to be. Because not everything that feels good is God, and not everything that feels hard is wrong. Some struggles are not there to destroy you. They're there to reveal you, to reveal what's really in you when the hype is gone, when the crowd is gone, when the mood is gone. When nobody is reposting your pain, liking your effort, or cheering you on, that's where character gets built. Not when everything is easy, not when everything is flowing, not when everything makes sense. Character gets built when you still trust God with tears in your eyes, when you still show up tired, when you still pray while feeling empty, when you still move forward without having all the answers. That's faith, not fake positivity, not pretending life doesn't hurt, not acting like you never doubt. Real faith is saying, I don't understand this season, but I'm not letting go of God in it. That's grown faith. That's warrior faith. That's the kind of faith that doesn't just shout in church, but survives in private. Because let's be honest, anybody can praise when life is good. Anybody can post Bible verses when the check cleared, the family is healthy, and the plan is working. But when life punches hard, when the waiting gets long, when the loneliness gets heavy, when the answer is delayed, can you still believe? Can you still trust that what looks like a setback might actually be spiritual setup? See, some of the strongest people you know didn't become strong because life was soft on them. They became strong because they stayed anchored while everything around them was shaking. And maybe that's what this season is doing for you. Maybe God is teaching you how to stand without applause, how to move without validation, how to obey without full explanation, how to trust without visible proof. That kind of strength is rare. And once you build that kind of spirit, you stop breaking every time life gets heavy. You stop begging for easy. You stop needing everyone to understand your journey. You stop collapsing just because the timeline changed. Why? Because now you know. Delay is not denial. Silence is not abandonment. Waiting is not weakness. Let me say that again. Delay is not denial. Silence is not abandonment. Waiting is not weakness. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. Somebody needed to hear that today. The enemy wants you tired enough to quit early, wounded enough to shrink back, confused enough to settle. But the fact that you're still here, still breathing, still trying, still praying, even if it's messy, that means there's still purpose on your life. God didn't wake you up today just to tease your destiny. He didn't carry you through every hard season before this just to drop you in the middle of this one. Nah. God didn't bring you this far to leave you here. So don't quit in the middle. Don't let one painful chapter make you doubt the whole story. Don't let this season convince you that your life has no direction. Keep going, keep praying, keep healing, keep building, keep trusting, keep becoming. Even if it's slow, even if it's lonely, even if it's not making sense yet. Because one day, what feels heavy right now is going to make sense in a way that leaves you speechless. One day you're going to look back at the nights you cried, the doors that closed, the people that left, the plans that failed, and you're going to realize God was protecting you, God was preparing you, God was purifying you, God was positioning you. And that breaking point, it was not your ending, it was the moment your deeper faith was born. So if your heart is tired today, hear me clearly. You are still chosen, still covered, still called, still being led, still becoming. And no matter how confusing this season feels, God is still writing a story bigger than your current pain. Stay with Him. Trust Him in the dark. Walk by faith, not by feelings. And remember this every time fear hits your mind. God didn't bring you this far to leave you here.